Madden Podcast. This is the Thanksgiving episode. I'm Shanegotyou11, and with me, as always, is Trey.
Hey guys, how's it going? This is Trey here. And yes, you heard this right. This is the special Thanksgiving edition of the West Coast Madden Podcast. I hope you guys are having a good week thus far. So random question of the week, since this is kind of the holiday season, the question is very simple. What is your most favorite Christmas present that you ever received? Shay, do you have an answer for that?
Yes. Okay. So when I was young, right, we had this like concrete block, or I don't know how to explain it, like a concrete floor outside where my parents and I lived with my brother, and we'd play basketball on it. We'd play all of that. Well, my parents one Christmas bought me a goalie outfit to play out on the concrete versus my brother and his friend, and it was versus my dad and me versus him, and it was like it was like looked legit, like goalie gloves and everything, and it was the coolest thing I had. Honestly, I got the PlayStation, but I mean, the goalie outfit for hockey was sick. Anyways, that's mine.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because I feel like because I'm a little bit younger than you are, so I almost feel like when you were growing up, I feel like people played outside more, whereas these days, like, kids I mean, they still play outside, but it's like they're more into like video games and all this these days. But I think mine, honestly, because I remember when Beats by Dre headphones, like that was that was like the buzz that was going on. And let me tell you something. If you've never had Beats by Dre before, they're very good quality, but they're made out of really cheap material, and they break very easily.
I've never had them. I've never had them.
Yeah, you never have. I mean, they sound good. Like, they make the music sound really like deep, but yeah. So anyway, But for Thursday Night Football, we have the Colts versus the Texans. Excuse me. I like the Texans. The AFC South is looking pretty tough. I wish that Gardner Minshew was still playing. I think he'll still be able to play. Probably next year when he starts to get his reps in. But I'm going with the Texans over this game. Shane, who do you got for this one?
I got the Texans.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be about 7 to 10 points.
Yeah. All right. So moving on for our first topic of the day. This is Mud Draft. Mud Draft is the new grind. We're in a new season now. Everyone's grinding the leaderboards. So the next two topics are going to be who are some players in Mud Draft where when they do pop up, you need to add them to your team. I would say my top players are Austin Eckler, 90 overall running back. Jim Brown is probably the most OP. I think I like Jim Brown over Clinton Portis, honestly. And Cam Newton, the 92 Cam Newton. He's a mobile quarterback, but he's got a cannon on him. But those are some of my players. Shane, who are some of your most favorite players in Mud Draft so far?
Tariq Cohen and Cam Newton.
Okay. Yeah. Tariq Cohen's pretty good too. I like him.
He's super fast and he's small.
Yeah. Corey Dillon, 87 overall, kind of a good one as well. I wish, like, do you feel like they need to update the draft pool? I think that they should update the draft pool more often than they do. Um, I think even the linebackers, because the way the user is now, to get a user pick, you basically have to be like right on top of the ball. And I feel like there's not really that many good linebackers, like user linebackers, that you can get in the draft pool this far.
The linebackers are kind of subpar. I do agree on that. I still don't have that big of a problem using. The only thing that I dislike is sometimes it feels like you get sucked into like a weird, like, I don't know, like they're like sucking you towards, oh, I mean away from the ball, if that makes sense. So like when they throw it and you try to intercept it and they like pull you down away from the ball. That's the only thing that I don't like. The user, I mean, I don't really have a problem with the user, bro, but I mean, I know what you mean.
Right.
Yeah.
And so who are some of your best playbooks that you have? I would say my top two playbooks are Green Bay, and recently they had the Broncos playbook. They added gun tight into Broncos, and they're a 3-4 team, which is something that I appreciate. I've been getting kind of some dubs with that. I do plan, because I've been kind of stubborn about it, because I only run 3-4 defense. I haven't run 4-3, but I know that a lot of the better offensive playbooks are 4-3. But I'm probably going to try to lab 4-3. I think my biggest problem with 4-3 is learning how to get run D. I feel like that could be a problem, but Shane, what are some of your favorite playbooks in this mode?
It's crazy because I love New England's offense, but I can't stand the defense. It doesn't fit me well. So I've told you, I've kept track of certain playbook. I keep track of playbooks. My top record wise is Buffalo, Detroit, Oakland, and Chicago. Oakland and Chicago are very, very similar. So I mean they just go together. But yeah, Buffalo's pretty good. It's a 4-3, but it has nickel normal. But I really like Giants. Giants isn't bad.
Right. And so this is my question. You know, you've been grinding salary cap throughout the beginning, and now you're just recently switching over to mud draft. Do you find yourself running a bit different formations than you would in salary cap? I know obviously when you're in salary cap you have your choice of playbooks, so you have a bit of selection, more of a selection than salary cap that fits you specifically. But as far as mud draft is there kind of a bigger difference in the kind of scheme that you run versus salary cap, or is it mostly just kind of random, you know, just freestyling?
You know, to be honest, I think mud draft helps me get out of my comfort zone, and by that I mean when I have a playbook that I like, I pick the same plays. Now, I pick more than the average person, I would assume, because I still pick like 8 to 14 on offense and 8 to 14 on defense, and then I switch it up. But, I mean, I don't go outside the box. With Mud Draft, I've learned, like with Oakland and Chicago, like I've learned great plays under center that I would have never known about if it wasn't Mud Draft. So, yes, I do think that it helps me with mud draft, that it helps me go outside my comfort zone. The main thing that we talked off air about is that I don't think it's very cool that they allowed people to redraft until they get their playbook or until they get their players, because it doesn't help the learning process and the randomness of mud draft. Even me getting eliminated in the playoffs last year, I mean, I got a terrible playbook and players, but I mean, it's still, I don't know. I like it better where you don't get to redraft.
Yeah. Yeah, and plus I think that it's just a different feel of a mode. Because, I mean, for the abilities, like playing with abilities and playing without abilities, it's you can definitely tell a difference. I mean, it's pretty much just night and day, really. But I mean, like, I've been running a few different formations, and I 100% agree with what you said earlier, because there's some formations that I've been grown accustomed to, and it did force me to step out my comfort zone and really get these plays and learn how to run them and that sort of a thing. So yeah, I 100% agree with you on that. So
I also think that MUT Draft makes it harder for people because they don't get the ability cop out, and by cop out I mean like they're about to get sacked and they have escapability or what's the one now that everybody's using, on the run or something. I'm not entirely sure.
Deadeye or something.
Yeah, dashing Deadeye
Yeah.
with escapability. Let's just say that does not. It helps you get copped out. Like when I use Lamar Jackson in money games, there's times that I'm about to get sacked. I step up and I just speed off with the escapability, and it helps bail people out. And to me, I feel like MUT Draft without ability shows how good you are. Or like when you're on defense and you just click off Enforcer and let the computer hit you with Pat Tillman. I don't think that allows a lot of skill. I mean, to me, if you want to be skilled, no ability shows how good you are. That's just my 2 cents.
Right. Yeah, for sure. So real quick, I mean, we do have the Thanksgiving's right around the corner, and you know what that means for all of my, because and let me know. I know that I've said this before, and I've been kind of slacking with doing this as of late, but let me know in the comments if you're someone that plays MUT head to head. Let me know what your reaction is to this Harvest promo that just came out. I know that they added a 92 Night Train lane. That's the big item that came out. I've heard mixed reactions about it on Twitter. I've heard some people say that he's too high of a cap for for his stats and all that. But let me know what your opinion is on him. But overall, I think the Harvest promo is pretty cool. So if you're someone that's into MUT, definitely go check that out. Also, if you want to get more into MUT, I want to shout out a channel named Gut Fox on YouTube. He's a guy that he does streams on Twitch, but he also does a lot of Ultimate Team videos. I mean, it kind of sounds like a little bit wrong for a 1,000 subscriber channel to give a shout out to a 16,000 subscriber channel, but definitely go check out that channel. I think he's pretty entertaining and all that. So
he paid us $50 for this ad that he just ran on my podcast.
Wow!
Wow! Yeah. No, hey, what I was gonna say is, I don't know if you've noticed this, Trey, because you don't do coins really, like in the sense, but it is crazy how the value of the coins have decreased already, and it's November. Like like certain players that are 89 to 91 are now worth like only 50,000, and a month ago they were like 600K. And I understand, well, the players get better and so the coins go up, but the value has also fallen down. It's fallen down from like $10 or $11 per 100K to like $9. So a $2 drop, and then by the end of the year in March, April, it'll be like $3 per 100K.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the value's pretty rough. I can't lie to you. So yeah, moving on to our next topic. It's a big one because we have quite a bit of teams that are already selected for the MCS. I think we have we're pretty much almost halfway for all the 32 teams that are representing the club championship. So I'm gonna go quickly over each club, and we actually have some divisions that have already been filled out. So for the AFC East, this is your division. The Jets Club Championship winner is AKG. The Dolphins Club Series winner is Steve Thumbs. The Bills winner is Stevie J. And for the Patriots, we have none other than Skimbo. I mean, that's a pretty tough division. I think that AKG, I think AKG and Skimbo is probably going to be the two tough outs. DVJ had a run back in Madden 18. He was the guy that kind of came up with the single back tight slots in the pitch. He was kind of the originator of that. But he hasn't really made an impact since then, so I definitely like Skimbo out of this division. Would you agree, Shane?
Yeah, I got Skimbo. I mean, they have to. I mean, he's good, and then he has a bunch of crew members. Yeah, I got Skimbo.
Yeah. All right, so for the AFC South, first off, we had Mills. He won the Texans Club Championship winner a few weeks ago. Kind of felt like it was forever ago, but it was only a couple weeks ago. But now, just today, they did the rest of the AFC South. So we have the Titans Club Championship winner in Tobin. He won a belt back in Madden 19. He was the Madden 19 Challenge winner. And we had the Jaguars with Dreeny. I mean, Dreeny has just been unbelievable. I mean, he just won a 25K Dream Hack tournament, and now he's the club championship winner. I mean, that guy's just killing it right now. And for the Colts championship winner is still going on as we speak. The matchup for the championship is between Lil Man and
Nick the Beast, right?
Yeah.
I got you, brother. I think it was Nick the Beast. Right now, I'm just checking in the score, and it is 0-0. They just started.
Okay, so yeah, they're just started. So for the Colts, that one is to be determined. This one, I want to say Mills. I think Mills pulls off an upset here. I don't know why I feel like that way. I mean, obviously there's two belt winners in the division, and then plus whoever wins this one. But for some reason, I just think that there's going to be an upset there. So that's who I got in that division. And then for the AFC West, we had the Raiders. The Raiders have the defending club championship winner in Pavon, who's a repeat club championship for the Oakland Raiders. And for the Chargers, they had Madden Elite. And for the Broncos, they had Turbo Jeff. And I still have no clue what they're going to do with the whole Kansas City Chiefs thing. That's to be determined. So I guess be on the lookout for that. But out of these three right now, I definitely like Pavon. Pavon's kind of the easy pick here. And
yeah, I agree with Pavon. Yeah, I agree with Pavon.
Right, yeah. All right, so for the NFC East, we have the Young Buck. The Young Buck that came in the finals against Sirius Mo ultimately fell short, but we have Henry representing the Eagles. The Giants, we have Evil D. And for the Redskins, we have Techers. I think Henry's pretty tough. I think Henry's going to be a tough out, and I feel like once he got that live experience, I think it's going to be kind of tough, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Henry go far in this tournament. And then for the NFC West, we have Seahawks winner D. Croft. We have 49ers' Trey Kings. Cardinals, we have Volterax, and for the Rams, we have Beast Mode Mac. I mean, this division for me so far is kind of up in the air. I think D. Croft as of right now, but I think those are like four evenly matched people. I can go either way.
Yeah, honestly. I agree with that. But in the NFC East, I'm gonna put it down just like I put it down last time. I think Techers comes out of the NFC East.
So you think that Techers could beat out Henry?
Yeah, Techers is legit this year, especially, bro. He was good. He was good last year, really good last year, but I mean, he's like really good this year, like really good.
All right, so and for the NFC South, they only did the Saints club championship today. So for the Saints, we have Nick Hacko. Nick Hacko actually ended up beating, which I didn't know this, but Dreeny's brother, and Dreeny's brother is about 4 or 5 years older than him, and he was in the finals with the Saints, but then this Nick Hacko guy came out and absolutely flooded Dreeny's brother. I mean, like by far, I mean, he had probably the best run defense that I've seen. He literally had negative yards.
What's Dreeny's brother?
Huh?
What's his Xbox or PSN? Do you know?
I'm gonna have to get back to you on that. I think it was like DOB or something, but
wow, I didn't even know.
Back with you on that, but it was Dreeny's brother, but the dude had negative rushing yards, and I mean, just thinking about that, like with how run heavy this year's game is, to hold your opponent to negative rushing yards. I mean, I don't even try to hold him to negative rushing yards. I'm like, okay, I understand he's going to get his yards here and there. I'm just going to try to contain the best I can. But, I mean, hats off to Nick Hacko. So.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. That's really crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, so far those are the club championship winners. So once we find out, which will probably be in a couple weeks, once we fill out all 32 teams, we're gonna probably be going more in depth, and we're probably gonna lay out like our full predictions, like who we think is gonna win the whole thing once we get all the divisions filled. So we'll definitely go more in depth with that one. So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, that'll be legit. That'll be cool. I like to see our predictions.
Yeah, so I think it's gonna be fun too. I like doing predictions, like with playoff events and sports and all that. So I think that would be a good idea going forward. So.
Call us Nostradamus.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. So moving on. This is the Throwback Madden series. So every week we go back and look at the past Maddens. This year's Madden, we have the 2006 Madden with cover boy Donovan McNabb on the cover. Definitely a guy that was a goon back in the day. He made a Super Bowl appearance. Him and Terrell Owens kind of got into it a little bit, but I mean overall still a very good player. So what I like to do is I like to set the scene for the year 2006. So what I generally do is I go back and I look at what kind of movies were popular back then, and what kind of music were good back then. So for the movies, the only movies that I recognized were Click with Adam Sandler. That was probably one of his movies that probably don't get as much props, but I kind of like that movie personally.
Yeah, that was a decent movie. It got deep at the end for sure.
Yeah. It did get deep in the end now that when I think about it, because it didn't really seem like it was going to be that deep, but then like at the end it's like, oh, well, I guess it kind of had like that strong message. But
oh, hell yeah. So people should go check it out if you haven't seen that movie.
Yeah, for sure. So, and then we had Talladega Nights, Will Ferrell. I mean, that guy's a classic. that was a good movie. I enjoyed Talladega Nights.
I have never seen it.
Oh, you haven't? It's like it's like a race car movie. It has Will Ferrell in it. It's like a redneck type of movie, but
okay.
Yeah.
Just like Joe Dirt, I never really watched, but
Right. But for music-wise, this was when Justin Timberlake was high. I think I liked Justin Timberlake when he broke up from NSYNC personally. I feel like he was probably bigger than them. So, but I mean, how can you not like Justin Timberlake? You know what I mean? Definitely a good singer for sure.
Well, that, and for as far as I know, knock on wood, he's a class act. So I mean, you got a guy who's nice, and then you got a guy who can sing. I mean, that's a win-win, right?
Yeah, for sure. But going into this year's Madden, and this is a fun fact, so we all know that Brock Lesnar is probably just a freak athlete, right? I mean, the guy was a pro wrestler, and when you're a pro wrestler, a lot of people think that you can't transfer over to MMA. Well, Brock Lesnar definitely proved them wrong. And on top of that, he played in a preseason game with the Minnesota Vikings. So, I mean, the guy is just an athletic specimen. But in this year's Madden 2006, he actually showed up as an unlockable character, which I thought that was pretty awesome. So
That's a real good tidbit, bro.
yeah,
Didn't know that.
shout out to
I mean, I did.
Wikipedia.
Oh, okay, yeah, I did know about like his MMA career and that he was on the preseason roster, but I didn't know that he was an unlockable player. It just shows how good he was because like if he would have started like MMA when he was 18, he had been way better. Just because of because he won a lot of fights, honestly, from size, athleticism. It's crazy how fast he is at that big. I think he ran like a 4.5. Like a lot of his measurables actually compared himself to J.J. Watt.
Yeah, which is pretty. It's pretty shocking because, I mean, like if I'm an athlete, that I would probably want to stick with WWE, but I mean, like you said, that if he would have stuck with MMA, then he probably would have excelled more. I mean, because when he was in WWE, he didn't really even strike me as like Hulk Hogan or like someone that's like really entertaining factor. He didn't really like come across as like all that entertaining when he was wrestling, but that's neither here nor there. And then so, Shane, did you play Madden back in the day when they had the vision cone for the quarterback? Like you would hold the right analog stick, and there would be this yellow cone. So when you would move it around, it would flash to like the one side of the field, and then it would like spotlight the receiver that was open, and you would throw it to him. Do you remember that at all?
I did. I played it with my friends off and on, but like at that time, man, I was into like the baseball games and the college football games.
Yeah. So I mean, that was a feature. That was a feature that was first introduced back in this year's game. So what they did was quarterbacks like Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, they would have a bigger vision cone, but quarterbacks like Michael Vick, their vision cone would be like a lot smaller, so there was a skill gap for the vision cone. And okay, so this is gonna be this shout out to all my CFM guys, because this was the introduction of the superstar mode. This was like the career mode back then. You would basically take a character from college, and then you would play games in the NFL, and then try to get yourself in the Hall of Fame. I do remember playing this back in the day, but I never really got that too deep into it. So, but that I know that that's a mode that a lot of people would want to see back in this year's Madden. So, but I'm gonna go quickly over the ratings for this year's Madden.
So right now, I don't know if I said it, but Little Man's up 7 late in the second quarter.
Okay, so it's 7-0 Little Man right now.
No, 10-3.
Okay.
He's just up 7 late second quarter. EMB EMB Little Man, and then Nick is Beast is driving. Little Man's yapping a lot. I have it on mute. I just like to update.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so definitely update on the championship game to see who's going to represent the Colts. However, so for the 99 overall club in this year's, ironic, we have the Colts Club Championship going, and one of the 99 overall was the quarterback Peyton Manning, and we have Randy Moss, who was a 99, Jonathan Ogden, who was a left tackle, Ray Lewis, Adam Vinatieri, and David Akers, 2 kickers in the 99 overall club in this year's Madden. So the Pittsburgh Steelers were in 91, the Baltimore Ravens were in 88, the Cincinnati Bengals were in 85, the Cleveland Browns were in 68. Ouch. The New England Patriots were in 97. That's pretty good. The Jets were in 81. The Bills were at 78. The Miami Dolphins were at 70. The Indianapolis Colts were at 90. The Jacksonville Jaguars were in 84. The Houston Texans were in 83. The Tennessee Titans were at 69. The San Diego Chargers were in 86. The Chiefs were in 85. The Raiders were in 81. The Denver Broncos were at 74. The Minnesota Vikings were in 90. The Green Bay Packers were in 80. The Detroit Lions were at 78. The Chicago Bears were at 73. The Eagles were at 96. The Redskins were at 77. The Cowboys were at 73. The New York Giants were at 72. The Panthers were in 85. The Falcons were in 85. The Bucks were at 75. The Saints were at 72. The Seattle Seahawks were in 86. The Rams were in 82. The Cardinals were at 76. The 49ers were at 67. Ouch. So, that was your flashback history lesson for the year 2006. But that's all that I have for this year's. It's gonna be 2021 pretty soon though, which is kind of crazy to think about. But
whoa, hold on, not to interrupt, make you look bad, but we jump in a year.
We jump in a year. Well, I was just but
I'm sorry. Wait a minute, dude. Now I'm confused. Isn't it 2019?
Oh yeah, 2019.
Okay, so it'll be 2020,
so
not 2021.
Yeah, I got you. I don't even know what year it is. Jesus.
Don't worry, I got confused. Like, I was like making a joke, and then you're like, yeah, okay, and I'm like, wait a minute, am I wrong on the year?
Yeah. That's fun times. No, but seriously, so I was gonna close out the show, but then I remember that Shane texted me this a while back. He wants to talk about, since it is gonna be Thanksgiving next week. What are some of the things that you're most thankful for? Me personally, I would say that I'm thankful for life in general. Like people. I think it's very important to just be thankful for your health and be thankful that you're even, alive to begin with. And I always look at every day as like, this is like a new opportunity to improve on yourself and, just a new day to really do anything in general and to move closer to reach your goals, whatever they might be. So I would say that that's more what I'm thankful for, obviously for family and, friends and all that, but I would say, just having my health and having the opportunity to go far and reach my goals. But Shane, what are some of the things that you're thankful for the most?
Well, I had good news about my wife's pregnancy, so that's always great news. My dad's doing okay. He's better, out of the hospital. He's in a rehab center for his hip and leg. I mean, all my family's still alive and kicking. Got a kid, got a wife, got another one on the way that's doing healthy. So I'm thankful for all that, man. Like, sometimes you just don't slow it down and appreciate things in life. I do have a couple people that wrote on the comment section. They're basically what we were all saying: thankful for life, thankful for family, and all that stuff. We will get into the Christmas stuff next month. I did have a guy write me asking me what my favorite movie is from Christmas. I'll just put it out there right now. It's a Wonderful Life. It's an old school movie. Have you seen that, Trey?
I think it sounds familiar, but I mean, I never heard of it, and like I'm trying to think of what Christmas movie is my favorite because there was a lot of good ones. I mean, you have to like say the Home Alone movies, right? I mean, those were classics.
Oh yeah. I did forget about
Yeah.
those, man. I did. Home Alone 1 was the best.
Really, you like one over the New York one?
New York is pretty good too. Actually, you know what? Those are both good. I mean, I'm not even gonna hate. Macaulay Culkin and that family in those two movies. He did two, right? They didn't do three. Wasn't it some little kid after that?
Yeah.
Different kid. Yeah, I like
I think
those.
yeah, I think they did a third one, but it wasn't like really relevant. So,
Yeah, I don't remember the
but
rest. I just know the last time was like some different kid. Um, but yeah, anyone who hasn't seen the movie, and we'll get into it in Christmas. It's a Wonderful Life. You guys need to go check it out. Clarence got his wings. Clarence got his wings. And also, just I'm gonna throw it out right here. I mean, there's nobody in here right now, so we're talking to ourselves. But there was a few people in here, and like we say before, people listen the following day and stuff. So I mean, we have people listening, so we appreciate it. I'm gonna try something out in Christmas during December. It's gonna be a part of this channel, but just a different area of the channel. It's going to be, I'm really going out on a limb here, Trey. I will explain to you off air, but it will include live streaming and stuff like that. Hopefully it goes well, and if it doesn't, we learned its lessons. But the point is I'm trying to help out and give back, so we'll see how that goes. Do we have anything else to say more, Trey? Do you have any other topics, or are we good for today?
I think we're good for today. I mean, that's all that I have personally. But we will be back after Shane, finishes up what he has to say. But we'll be back the Thursday following Thanksgiving, same time, 4 p.m. And I hope that all you guys have a good Thanksgiving and all that. So.
Oh man, I'm gonna eat so much, bro, and be so grossed out. Like that's all I'm gonna say is I'm gonna be grossed out, you guys. So we're gonna wrap this up. Yeah, Thanksgiving is gonna be crazy. I'm gonna be hella busy. Like 2 families, 1 day. Check out my dad when he's in the rehab recovery center for his leg and hip. That'll be all good times. Everybody that listens to this tomorrow, the following day, be safe. Have a good Thanksgiving. Be back here. I believe it's the 4th of December. I'm not entirely sure. But anyways, you guys, be safe. This is the West Coast Madden Podcast. And just because in the spring and summer there won't be a lot of talking about Madden, we'll still have the podcast. We'll go on different subjects. Trey and I will explain as it gets there, but I just had that, random brain thought that popped in. Anyways, this is the West Coast Madden Podcast. I'm Shanegotyou11 like always, and with me is Trey as always. We will see you guys here, not next Thursday, but the following Thursday. Have a good Thanksgiving.